Well, you have been releasing more and more tracks. How is your workflow now? Do you have enough tracks to release an album, or?
I got right now 5 tracks ready, and I definitely want to do an album in the future. But for now, I just got some singles coming up, and I'm definitely working on an album on the side. So hopefully next year I can put out an album. I don't know. I just make music, and right now I travel a lot. I've got a very hard schedule with touring, but while I'm on tour, I create new melodies, new ideas, and when I'm back home, like I schedule 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off, I take all those ideas, go listen back to them, and pick out the nicest one, the best track, the best idea, and finish them into actually songs. And then I send it to the label, and they give me feedback, and then I end up with a release.
And do you have plans on maybe on working with other people for this album too?
Yeah, of course. Not particularly for this album, but I've got a lot of new collaborations coming up. I got a new track with Afrojack coming up. I'm working on a new track which is almost done with Ed Sheeran. I've been in the studio with Tiesto, with David Guetta. I got some solo stuff coming up, some new remixes. There's just a lot of new Martin Garrix stuff coming up.
Is there one thing because do you still play the guitar?
Not. I wish. Okay. I kind of forgot how to like. And I can still do the basics, but not that good anymore.
What's it like then? Because Ed Sheeran, he's basically a guitar player and he writes songs. What was it like to work with him?
It's a pleasure for me to work with Ed Sheeran. I met him in Los Angeles, and we started talking and hanging out, and I sent him a chord progression, like not even a whole track, but just a chord progression with like synths, and he came back with an amazing top line on it. And right now I'm finishing the track around it, which is almost done, and then we're going to check how we can release it and put it out.
When?
No idea when.
You don't know idea when. The track with Afrojack, what's it like?
It's a track which I think is not getting played on the radio very often when it gets released, but it's a very energetic track, and every time I play it live, every time Nick Afrojack plays it live, the crowd goes insane. I can't wait till it gets released and to see the reactions on it.
What is the title?
Turn Up The Speakers.
Turn Up The Speakers. And the song with Ed Sheeran?
Rewind Repeated.
Rewind Repeated, okay. Well, you said your own album. Is it for DJs like you, is it important to release an album, or is it just more about the singles and club tracks?
It depends on the artist and how he thinks about it. For me, one of my goals is definitely to put out an album. But right now, I put out singles for the last 4 years, so I'm fine with it. And I'm gonna do some album tracks on. I did a track with Dylan Francis for his album. The one with Guetta is probably gonna be for his album. So it's definitely a goal, but not a must. But
no, but not a must. But if I listen to you carefully, you say, well, I like albums. Why do you like albums? Because of
It's kind of an accomplishment. It's like on my to-do list, like to have a successful career or to have like a, you know what I mean? Like one of my dreams is just to put out an album. Like it's the kind of thing which I want to accomplish.
How do you cope now? Well, you're young, you're traveling the world. How do you cope with your normal life? Do you have a normal life like you had a few years ago?
My life definitely changed in a couple of years, especially the last few years. But it's fun. I have a small group of friends, but like we're super close. They fly very often together with me. I bring my parents along to the nice shows. I brought my dad to South Africa. We did like a safari. I brought my mom to Ultra in Miami. I brought them all to Coachella. So they're super involved with everything which is happening, and that's also important for me to like keep realizing what's happening at the moment.
Do they like your music, your parents?
I started with like trance, then there was a small time where I produced hardstyle. Like they didn't like it at all because I had this big car speakers in my room, so like the whole house was shaking. But right now they're like really into house, and they even sometimes they just come in my room while I'm producing and they just watch because they like the process, and it's great how they support it. And right now they actually listen to house music as well, to radio shows by other DJs. So it's fun how they picked it up.
How important is for you that now that electronic dance music, what the name has become, is also breaking the stage. Is it something that is it good for you or?
I think it's good for everyone because in the end what I want as an artist is to have as much people as possible listen to my music and share my music with as much people as possible. One of the nice things is that it's getting a lot of radio recognition right now in the US, and that's just great.
What is your next release going to be?
I released Gold Skies yesterday. It's my brand new track together with Sander Van Doorn and Dubs. The guys were just here. I had dinner with them, and they made Tsunami. You might know the track was super big, #1 over here in the Netherlands as well. And yes, it's fun. Reactions are super good. I can't wait till it gets released in other countries around the world. Just got picked up by Radio 538 as well. So I'm super excited for what's going to happen with that track.
How do you, because you spoke about many collaborations. How do you decide if you want to work with an artist? What are you looking for?
I only want to work with an artist if I got the feeling like the track is going to be insane. Like if what I like very often is to work with people who I really look up to, like how they produce. Like Afrojack is an insanely talented producer, and the stuff I learned so much stuff by just sitting next to him into the studio and saw him working. But he also learned stuff from me while I was working, and that's the nice thing about collaborating. So I want to collaborate with people who like Ed Sheeran. Like he's from a different genre, but the track is, I can't wait till it gets released. It's so nice, and for me it's just important that the final result is going to be a great track.
You said, you learned from even, working with Afrojack, for example. Is there one thing that you can explain to us that you learned? Maybe one producing thing or?
He makes his side chains in a very different way than I do it. Like his side chaining is like really hard, and like mine, I just sign them in, and you probably won't understand it, but it's this effect which you can put on a sound to give it more bounce, more vibe, and to make more space for the kick. Like for example, if you put a side chain on your bass line on the low frequency, so you have a kick, like it doesn't like. It's hard to explain, but he's very. I learn a lot from him.
And Ed Sheeran, what is the thing that you learned from working with him on this track?
I learned how to work more with like a poppy vocal, like a different kind of vocal. Like me as a house artist is not really used to a vocal like what he gave to me, and it was very challenging, but I'm super excited for the track.
Last question. What are you, you're 18 or 7?
18.
18, yeah. I don't know your exact birthday, but you're 18 now. What are your thoughts on the next 5-10 years, or what do you want?
The next 5 or 10 years. For me, my goal is to just go on with what I'm doing right now. I can get to travel the world, play my music for other people, and have a great time. And I definitely got a lot of more goals which I want to accomplish. I would love to play in Madison Square Garden one day, have my own show there.
Why?
I don't know. If I can do the same in 10 years, what I'm doing right now, I'm still happy.
So your music is definitely your
main
life
focus.
ambition.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Top, dankjewel.